And welcome back again. Yours truly, Anthony Parker Alexander, and you are watching Keep It Honest with yours truly, Anthony Parker Alexander. If you have any questions or comments, you can email yours truly. It's Parkerman, Parkerman 2011 at gmail.com, Parkerman 2011 at gmail.com. And you can also text me or leave me a voicemail. My number is 216-702-3718, 216-702-3718. And hit the like and subscribe button and also share. Let people know that you're watching, keeping it honest with yours truly, Anthony Parker. So if you're new to the show, you know we try to do things with Parker twist. We try to get the left side, we try to get the right side. We try at the end for you to decide. And hopefully we've done our job. We thank you for supporting us since we've been on and continue to support us. Also, don't forget to go to our Substack page. And that's where we have written articles about things that maybe pertain to news out there that you can use, or maybe stuff that you don't even know about. Go to the more information on our page right here, and you'll be able to go there. And also, tell your friends and even yourself, if you guys are talking among yourselves and you're like, wow, man, I wish we could see that story somewhere. Well, you know what? This will be the place. Right here. One of my most exciting books. We're going to talk about this, and this is involving Donald Trump and Fani Willis. Find Me the Votes. A hard-charging Georgia prosecutor, a rogue president, and the plot to steal an American election. Right now, as I go through this Fani Willis case, it's one of the most talked about things. This book, we're in the middle of a case to see if Donald Trump pretty much tried to find the votes. So while we're in the middle of that, one of Donald Trump's people that George is trying to prosecute said, you know what? While you guys are trying to prosecute me, Fani Willis was involved with a relationship with one of her co-workers. And the question is, if she was involved with one of her co-workers while this is taking place, then she can be disqualified. So the thing is Fani Willis and Nathan Wade, it sounds like a soap opera, were they involved before she got this case, or were they involved afterwards? So as they try to go through this case, we're going to know soon if she's going to be disqualified. Stay tuned as we talk about this book on upcoming shows. That's what we try to do. So today we're going to talk about doing something a little bit different. We try to evolve, okay, as everything does. Television involved, movies involved, radio involved, social media involved, and we're involving. So we're going to talk about Social Security and Donald Trump's way of life as far as Social Security. We're going to talk about, and do you ever go to these places? I just noticed this. I go to Dollar Tree a lot. Dollar General, you don't really see a lot of places, but we tend to go to those whenever we can find it. Dollar Tree now, it's not really $1. It's like $1.25. It may be a little bit more than that, but it's not really what it says anymore. You can't really find things for $1. So they should call it the $1.25 store and up. And then Dollar General, you see them in certain spots across the country, kind of like holes in the walls, but they're there. And a couple of days ago, as I was driving, which I thought was interesting, I saw a Dollar General and a Dollar Tree combined. And I never saw that before. And the person I was with was like, oh yeah, they're at a couple of places. So that was new to me. But are they combining them because, well, they're losing money, or are they combining them because you can get more things there? But we're going to talk about that, Dollar General, Dollar Tree, and how The economy is messing it up. And we're going to talk about the voters. We have the election coming up. How many people are undecided? How many people want Trump? How many people want Biden? How many people want RFK Jr.? How many people want Cornel West? Are there a lot of people undivided? Well, we're going to talk about that too. And let me know your sleeping time. A lot of people tend to get up at 3 in the morning. I myself get up at 3 in the morning too. We may try doing a show at 3 in the morning sometimes since people get up. But I want to try to talk to you about that and how when you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, how it's affecting you. We've got a bunch of interesting things coming up. We're doing the show a little bit different. So let me know what you think as we started right after this. You're watching Keeping It Honest with yours truly, Anthony Parker Alexander. And welcome back again, yours truly, Anthony Parker Alexander of Keeping It Honest. Before we took that break, we were talking about sleep schedules. Now, how many people, I'm just curious, wake up at 3 in the morning? You may go to sleep at 11, maybe 12, but you wake up at 3 in the morning. So for the people that work nights, this doesn't apply to you, but it applies to the people that normally try to go to bed, whatever that normal time is, but you find yourself waking up at 3 in the morning. So now there are studies, and they call this nocturnal awakenings. And this tend to happen to a lot of people. So it's when you wake up several times throughout the night in a natural occurrence. It's also, due to sleep architecture, which is interesting, which are the stages of sleep that one cycles through every night. So these awakenings usually only last for anywhere from a few seconds up to a few minutes. When you wake up and maybe you turn around, and sometimes I use this phone as my alarm clock to wake me up. You ever use that too? Instead of having an alarm clock, you use a phone now. And when you hit the snooze button, you tend to wake up every few minutes. So you kind of hate that. But we depend on this phone to wake us up. So how many people wake up a couple times throughout the night? You either go to the bathroom or you just toss and turn. So there are 4 stages of sleep people cycle throughout the night. Let me know, because I'm reading this now to you, if this is you. So the cycle begins with a light sleep that transitions into a deeper sleep and then into the deeper sleep that occurs in the third stage. This is often referred to as slow wave sleep. So again, begins with a light sleep. You're just getting to sleep. Goes into a deeper sleep. You're really sleep, kind of. And then into the deepest sleep that occurs. And again, they call this the slow wave sleep. So it's after this stage when people often wake up naturally. And once they fall back asleep, the cycle begins again. So it's just an ongoing cycle of falling asleep. Some people can go to sleep off through the night, don't have to wake up, go to the bathroom or nothing. So because we tend to go to bed at roughly the same time on a nightly basis, and these cycles are roughly the same length, we may wake up at the same time in the night. Most of these awakenings will be brief and forgettable, but there might be 1 or 2 cycles into the night that we wake up and we look at the clock and are aware of the time. So waking up several times throughout the night is typically not disruptive to one's health, as long as falling back to sleep occurs within about 5 to 10 minutes. On the other hand, when people find themselves waking up multiple times within the hour, that could cause a sleep cycle to be fragmented and the individual might not get any deep sleep. Yeah, because you think about this. You go to sleep, and usually if you have a headache or not feeling good, that you tend to keep waking up. But when you wake up once or twice a night, that's kind of routine. So when people naturally wake up in the night, they are more likely to remember it happening during the second half of the night. Wow. That's when people typically have longer REM sleep, light sleep, when the first half of the night has longer stages of deep sleep instead. And have you ever had REM sleep? I mean, that's when you're asleep, but yet you can hear things. So as one doctor says, people will say, "Oh, I sleep like really solidly for 4 hours, and then I feel like I have more awakening." And that's also very normal based on our sleep architect. It's often a person's emotional response to the awakening that can pose challenges. And this could result in someone developing secondary insomnia if their reaction triggers prolonged wakefulness. The doctor says if somebody wakes in the night and the first thing they do is look to their alarm clock and see what time it is, I mean, don't you hate that? You kind of sleep and you're like, man, do I really want to see what time it is? I don't know because I want more sleep. And then you look at the clock and you find out it's time to go. Ooh, man, don't you hate that? So people's sleep cycle. It tells the body when it's time to sleep and tends to line up with your past sleep wake cycles and exposure to light throughout the day. Again, isn't it interesting how sometimes you don't need a clock and your body just gets up? So if this rhythm is thrown off or the sleep wake cycle changes a lot, the body is not going to have a great idea of when to have high quality deep sleep. And that's usually when, like I said, maybe you're not feeling good or you're thrown off or daylight savings time. How many people where we had daylight savings time? We got thrown. We were so tired. We didn't know what to do. And it takes us a couple of days and it throws us off. So don't you just hate daylight savings time too? Some people say, well, you know what? We ought to just overrule it. But it's interesting because when daylight savings time, as soon as it pops, do you feel like for this last recent daylight savings time, we tended to lose an hour of sleep and we gained an hour of daytime? So are you still trying to get your body together after that? I know it takes a couple of days to get yourself together. So do you tend to go to bed later now that it's daylight savings time, but it's daytime? Or do you still tend to go to bed at the same time? And think of people in Alaska. Wow, where 6 months of daylight and 6 months of nighttime. I would really hate to live there. And how many people just can get on 4 hours of sleep and that's okay? But how many people need 8 hours of sleep? Technically, we need about 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Let me know if that's what you get. We used to do a show called Parker After Dark. And I used to love it because you get people that either work the late night or are up at night. And they would call me. It was a live radio show, and they would call, and I would be there. And do we need those kind of shows? Because we don't have them as much now. Even with streaming, we don't really have those kind of shows anymore. Do we need those kind of shows? We probably do. So stay tuned for maybe an overnight version of Keeping It Honest with yours truly, Anthony Parker Alexander. So again, like I said, we have this book. We're going to talk about Find Me the Votes. And go to the site, go to my videos, and you'll see interesting shows that we have done with certain politicians. We have done shows with regular people. We have done shows that are in the news, but we put a Parker spin to it. So this next show or story we're going to talk about, it's interesting because we're going to go online and we're going to talk about the story as it's going through. And remember I said something about Family Dollar and Dollar General? We're going to talk about that. But first, we're going to talk about this story And of course, who's in the news now? Donald Trump. And if you're a person that's about to get Social Security benefits or are waiting for that, because some people say, well, you know what, we're not going to have that. Well, let's talk about this now with Donald Trump.
Thing really important. It might be the most important run-on sentence of this campaign. And it's a sentence that, trust me, Joe Biden will do his best to make sure voters hear over and over again.
So first of all, there is a lot you can do in terms of entitlements, in terms of cutting, and in terms of also the theft and the bad management of entitlements, tremendous bad management of entitlements. There's tremendous amounts of things and numbers of things you can do.
Did you catch that? Well, the Biden campaign did. They saw it and nearly instantaneously spat out a new digital ad. The Trump campaign counters that the former president plans to be a strong protector of entitlements, not cut it. Medicare, while in office, did not want to leave Social Security and Medicare alone. In 2020, his budget spelled out in black and white that he wanted to spend trillions of dollars less on both programs. Now, today was not an aberration. It's a pattern for Trump and his campaign of talking out of both sides of their mouth on this issue. What exactly will happen to these programs that millions of Americans rely on if he becomes president?
So that's what we're wondering. Are we more scared? But you have to look at this in the Biden administration. How have these entitlements been? Have they been where they've been successful? Have they worked? Do we want to keep it the same as it is? Or do we want to change it as far as Trump saying he's going to cut entitlements? This is going to be interesting because he was president before. Is he going to do something drastically different?
Nikki Haley supports a 23% national sales tax, and she wants to gut Medicare and Social Security. If Nikki Haley got away, most seniors would work their entire lives right up until the end and then not live long enough to receive the benefits they earned and paid for.
So do we want Social Security benefits after 65, 70, I think? Do we want to up the age? Because if we up the age, are we doing it because we're saving money? Or are we doing it because people need to work and they can't stop at 65?
In addition to wanting to cut Social Security and raise the minimum age to at least 70, and Medicare, he wanted to absolutely destroy it. Ron DeSanctimonious is delivering the biggest insurance company bailout in globalist history. The Socialist Democrats are trying to destroy American health care and trying to destroy your Social Security. That won't happen with me. We're not touching Medicare. We want to keep Medicare. We're not touching Social Security.
So he said he's not touching Medicare. He's not touching Social Security. So remember that if he gets back in office.
We will always protect your Medicare, and we will always protect your Social Security, always.
Entitlements ever be on your plate?
At some point, they will be. We have tremendous growth. We're going to have tremendous growth this next year. It'll be toward the end of the year. The growth is going to be incredible. And at the right time, we will take a look at that. You know, that's actually the easiest of all things, if you look, because it's such a big percentage.
You're willing to do some of the things that you said you wouldn't do in the past, though, in terms of Medicare?
Well, we're going to look. We cannot become a great nation until we become rich again. You know, we can't afford Social Security. We can't afford anything. I'm going to save Social Security.
Again, he says he's going to save Social Security. Is he going to cut it in any kind of way?
Save Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security without cuts. Have to do it. I'm not going to cut Social Security like every other Republican, and I'm not going to cut Medicare or Medicaid.
And joining me now is former senior advisor to President Obama, Dan Pfeiffer. Dan, how big of a deal are these comments? I mean, look, it might have gone under the radar, but the Biden campaign was paying attention.
I think it's a huge deal. You know, a lot of the things that Trump does, his gaffes, the outrageous things he says, are the kind of things that get people, the press, and active, engaged Democrats like myself all worked up, but are pretty disconnected from the everyday lives of the working class voters who are going to decide this election. Social Security and Medicare go right to the core of what these voters care the most about. And Donald Trump has opened a door on an issue in which poll after poll shows he has a very real vulnerability with the exact voters who have helped propel him to his position in this race. So I think it's a giant deal. I think it's really impressive. The Biden campaign is off and running with it, and they're going to try to drive this every single day through the election.
So there we have it. If you're going to cut Social Security, we hope not, because it's something that we had, and it's something that we're going to continue to do. Cut everything, speaking of video-wise, so trying to get this right. It's very, very interesting. You're watching. Yours truly, Keeping It Honest, with Anthony Parker. You have any questions or comments, you can email yours truly. It's parkerman2011@gmail.com, parkerman2011@gmail.com. And if you'd like to call me, you can call me. Text me, leave me a voicemail, 216-702-3718, 216-702-3718. And we're doing something a little bit different, trying to pull things up off on the internet. And of course, if the internet doesn't like what you're doing, it's going to sabotage you. Do I believe in conspiracy theory? Yes, I do. I believe in it so much. I tell you, the easy days of when you could do shows, and it was no problem. Everything was simple. Speaking of simple, I don't know about you. Simple times is when you could buy things. They were pretty cheap. They were at least $1 when there were dollar stores. And there's still dollar stores. There's Family Dollar. There's Dollar Tree. But my question is to you, is it really $1? I think when you go to Dollar Tree now, you'll see that it's not $1, it's $1.25. They even have their section where they even have the $5 section in there. And sometimes you think it's $1 and it's not. So I always say, as I grumble and go to Dollar Tree, well, why don't they call it the $1.25 store? So this is interesting. Drove down the street not too long ago and I saw Dollar Tree and Family Dollar connected. Never saw that. So the reason you may see more of those, Dollar Tree and Family Dollar are having some trouble now. So Family Dollar, it's a struggling discount chain, which I didn't know that, and it kind of caters to the low-income customers. You think about that, not a racist statement. Think of where Family Dollar is located at, and they're about to close about 1,000 stores. So Family Dollar will close 600 locations this year and 370 stores over the next several years as store leases expire. Family Dollar has about 8,000 United States stores. So now, it's interesting. Dollar Tree, which owns Family Dollar, also said it will close 30 stores as leases expire. So you would think Family Dollar owns the Dollar Trees but the Dollar Trees own the Family Dollar. So they're doing this because of mismanagement and poor conditions in stores, and they've hurt the Family Dollar's brand. The company has struggled as discount competitions such as Dollar General, Walmart, and others grow. More recently, inflation has hit Family Dollar customers and the chain's profits. So because of Dollar General, Walmart, they've kind of made it hard for Family Dollar and Dollar Tree to continue. Persistent inflation and reduced government benefits, they continue to pressure the company, says the CEO. The closures will improve the company's profitability. Yeah, of course, so when you close, you have less stores, which saves you money. They're likely to leave a void for Americans who've already limited shopping choices. Family Dollar stores are often in areas with few supermarkets, big box stores, and other retail options. And yeah, you think about that, Dollar Tree and Family Dollar, they're at locations that maybe, you can get to because you can't get to Walmart. Shares of Dollar Tree sank more than 13% to their lowest levels this year. Now, Dollar Tree, which focuses more on middle income shoppers in suburbs, bought Family Dollar in 2015. Wow, so Dollar Tree bought Family Dollar in 2015 for $8.5 billion. So the combined company hoped that by joining forces, it could grow its customer base, reduce costs, and fend off bigger retailers like Dollar General, which is mainly in rural areas. Yes, and you think about that, Dollar General, you don't really see them a lot because they are kind of in more rural areas where Family Dollar and especially Dollar Tree, either in suburban or low income areas, because you don't really see a Dollar General. But Dollar Tree has struggled to integrate Family Dollar, and it has closed hundreds of Family Dollar stores, excuse me, in recent years. So you think about this, which one was worse, Family Dollar or Dollar Tree? Family Dollar, they were in worse conditions. Although Family Dollar has renovated thousands of stores in recent years, many stores are still poorly maintained. Stores are often understaffed and boxes block aisles. And I can tell you, I would say that they are the Dollar General, but they say a Family Dollar. Think of your Dollar Tree that you go to. Think of your Family Dollar that you go to. And think of your Dollar General. But how many people really go to Dollar General? So Family Dollar, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, and other stores have had, excuse me, long-standing theft issues, operating stores with just a handful of employees. And some of these employees at these Family Dollar, Dollar Tree, Dollar Generals have been victims of robbery. Wow. Who would have thought? Dollar Tree employees have complained about unsafe working conditions, and OSHA last year criticized the company for a continued disregard for human safety that suggests the company thinks profits matter more than people. So there have been robberies, I guess, at Dollar Tree, and they don't really care about the employees. Let me know if there's been a Dollar Tree that's been robbed where you're at. Family Dollar was hit with a record fine this year for violating product safety standards after selling items that were stacked in a rat-infested warehouse in West Memphis, filled with live, dead, and decaying rodents. All right, Family Dollar, that's not good. How many people have heard about that? Okay, there was a warehouse with rats, and they got inside of the product, and they were sold at Family Dollar. How much was this fine? This fine at Family Dollar was $41.6 million, and it was the largest ever monetary criminal penalty in a food safety case, the Justice Department said. And this took place at Family Dollar. Wow. So last year, Dollar Tree announced it would review its entire portfolio of Family Dollar to identify underperforming locations. So that's why some of these places are closing. So as Family Dollar struggled, Dollar General boomed. I still don't see that many Dollar Generals though. So Dollar General's open about 1,000 stores a year, making it the fastest growing retailer in the United States. And the company has about 18,000 stores. Wow. That is really interesting. Family Dollar, huh? Who would have thought on that? So when you go to these stores, make sure you're careful. You got Dollar Tree, you got Dollar General, you got Family Dollar. Some of these stores won't be there, and they've already made a little bit increases on some of the stores, but they're still cheaper. And they put them in locations that make it easier for people to go get their groceries because maybe they don't have a car. Maybe they're on the bus line, and some of them are within walking distance. So you would have thought that these stores would have been profitable. But because there's safety issues, maybe they're not paying a lot to the employees. Maybe they can't get employees. And as we know, there are problems as far as location. Is it going to be harder for people to get their their products. If there's no Walmart or Walgreens around, what are they going to do? Now that's a story to continue to listen to. Wow. We just keep it honest. Yours truly, Anthony Parker Alexander. And when we come back, we talked about Social Security. Is it going to be around? And if it's not going to be around, and some of these stores aren't going to be around, then how are people supposed to survive in their later years? Look into the platform of Donald Trump and Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. Look into the platform for Biden, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, and use that as one of the deciding factors as far as who you want to vote for. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about people who are out there who still don't know who they're going to vote for after this. You're watching Keeping It Honest. Yours truly, Anthony Parker Alexander. And welcome back again. Yours truly, Anthony Parker Alexander of Keeping It Honest. So like I said, there are a lot of things that I look at and sometimes I'm impressed, sometimes I'm not impressed. And these stories, they make me think about who to vote for and who not to vote for. And you got Donald Trump, you got Biden, you got RFK. And if RFK is a person that you vote for, then that's the one who you should vote for. But if it's not RFK, he's a long shot, but he's getting out there. If it's not Biden, if it's not Trump, then who is it? There's so many undecided voters out there. And if you don't believe me, check this
in
out.
a lot of spaces that I wouldn't see the usual politicians. So I was happy to see him here.
We're at the Gentleman's Factory in Brooklyn. It's a Black co-working space. Independent candidate for president, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., thinks he can appeal to Black Democrats by talking about economic development, his family legacy, and his work in the environmental justice space. What do you think that you can offer Black voters that Joe Biden cannot?
I've spent 40 years working for economic development, for cleaning up the environment, for healthcare, for Black Americans and Hispanic Americans.
The Democrat candidates and electeds, they make all sorts of promises, but once they win the election, the delivery, it doesn't match the promises that were made. But
yeah, it doesn't matter because how many people, Republican, Democrat, Independent, Independent, Green Party, they try to say what you want to hear. And I've always said, politicians, pastors, actors, activists, all you got to do is find out what these people want. And when you're trying to get that message out, you give them that. So when they vote you in, you're in. But then how many of these people really practice what they preach after they're in? Count your fingers. Think about it.
every 4 years, we are expected to continue to vote Democrat, an independent candidate, which some feel is a waste of a vote. This is why it's actually appealing this time around.
And if it's appealing, then get out there and vote. Okay? I always tell people, you have the option of voting for anybody you want. Black people weren't always Democrats. They were at one point Republicans. So just because you're black doesn't mean you have to be Democrat. Why do African Americans take so much of a hit when they're Republican?
According to surveys, in the last 40 years, RFK Jr. polls higher than any third-party candidate with a substantial 15% of the potential vote when matched up with Biden and Trump nationally. RFK.
And with that, independents also get 15%. They've always gotten about 15% of the vote. So RFK, they say, yeah, you know what, he's standing out, but he's about 15% as any other independent.
Jr.'s support from Black voters and longtime Democrats illustrates a fracture in the party and the power of the legacy of the Kennedy family name.
And I've always wondered too, so if Kennedy is getting at least 15% of the Black vote and he's beating Cornel West, who is Black, then what is the message that Cornel West isn't saying?
My number one issue is reparations and economic development in Black communities. Joe Biden was elected largely in part due to the racism in America that was highlighted by the George Floyd killing. And he did not pass the legislation. We're still in a bad place to the point where if Black people didn't show up to the polls, I wouldn't blame them. They've lost faith.
Understanding socioeconomics in the Black community intergenerationally from the work that his family has done in investing and understanding Black issues. This is something that he's continued in his campaign and something that's good to see.
So how many politicians out there are helping African Americans? I know for a fact that, if I'm correct, Donald Trump had between 6 to 8% of the African American vote when he ran. And when Biden ran, he had about 90. So now, coming up this election, Donald Trump maybe has probably 15% African American vote, and maybe Biden has about, I don't know, 80%. Maybe it went down a lot. And RFK, how much percentage does he have? But then you would think, I hate to say this because you're Black, that Cornel West would have probably most of the African American vote. But how many of African Americans even know that Cornel West is running?
Believe Kennedy will be a real threat to the major party candidates, but his support from a historically strong Democratic voting bloc of Black voters could hurt Biden's chances in November. At the same time, many associate him with his conspiracy theories.
We're being poisoned, and that is what we ought to be focusing on.
Well, you can never agree with everything, but for the most part, I agree with his ideas.
Well, I like the Kennedy mystique. I like the style. Yeah, we all have problems and differences, but quite bluntly, I think he's the best one to be president.
And is he the best one to be president? Wow. What are the odds that he would become president? It all depends if you vote. I tell people, look, here we go. Do it this way. We have my phone. We have this mouse, and we have these glasses. So let's say you've always voted for the phone, and it's one. Let's say you voted for the mouse, and it's one. So you got these two running, the phone and the mouse. And you may not like everything that this phone does, but you like most of it. You may not like everything this mouse does, but you vote for it. And then all of a sudden, boop, these glasses come in. It's always been the phone, it's always been the mouse, but now the glasses come in. And you're like, wow, man, I can see, I really believe in these glasses. These glasses have never won, but I believe in them. Best of two worlds, best of worst worlds. You've always voted for the phone, you've always voted for the mouse. Glasses are in. And you're thinking, boy, are these glasses, they're what I believe in, but are they gonna win? Should I vote for the glasses or should I vote for the phone and the mouse? People say vote for your heart, that it doesn't make a difference. There's only 20% of people pretty much in the country that votes. But what if there's somebody that puts a spin on the election cycle and really makes you believe hey, these classes can really make a difference, then go out there and vote. And maybe these classes will win. That's what people are saying. If they don't believe in these two, then why vote? So it's a itchy slope, but you just try to believe in what you can believe in. I'm always amazed because at one point when people run, they were honest. They wanted to do the right thing. They believed in everything. They believed in, you know what, you came out and you voted for me. That really means a lot for me. And I'm going to do my best and be there for you. How do you feel about this election season? All the people that ran, from Nikki to Christie to Ramaswamy to Pence to Christie. A lot of people that have run. Do you think Biden's going to make it? Is Biden in shape to continue to run? Is Donald Trump in shape to continue to run? I know for a fact that there are things that are fixed, okay? Whether it's in a job, whether it's a political thing, like Cat Williams said, you know what? People are put in places. There are people are put in place. I can tell you from my background dealing with politics. I ran for Congress. And even running for Congress, people are like, why are you running? Well, I ran because I wanted to show people that anybody can run for office, okay? If you don't like who's in office, then put them out and either you run or get somebody else to run. That's how easy it is. We need to get up off our behinds. And if we don't see the people making a difference, then we should make a difference. And I'm going to show you how to run in some upcoming episodes, or making your politicians accountable. We have a lot with the Republican Party. They have their people. Democrat Party, they have their people. When it comes to a time in the world where the Democratic Party can say, we don't want to put you on this ballot, and you're trying to run for office, then that's pretty much telling the people that your vote doesn't count. Or if you're trying to take somebody and get them off the ballot again, let's say Donald Trump, let people vote for who they want to vote for, okay? Whether you're Democrat or Republican. And maybe we have people in place to run because we want them to run so other people won't run. And I can tell you that's been true too. Sometimes people will place you somewhere else so you won't continue to make a difference. Is politics a conspiracy? Yes, it is. So I try to show people, if you're passionate about something and don't know how to run, then vote for the people who are really passionate. Make them accountable. If they don't respond after they got in office to any of your queries, then the next election, vote them out. It's also bad that how politicians work, they can sit together in a room and say, you know what, let's work on passing this legislation, or let's work on passing that legislation. And then it doesn't even get out there to the people. Okay? We need to redo this political system. The Democrats, the Republicans, the independents, we need to redo it. We need to make it where everybody can run and everybody is on the same playing field. We need to make it where money shouldn't be the cost of being successful. We need to make it where even if you're a candidate for anything, that you kind of have the same playing field. Streaming. We need to make it where, okay, you're too big, but yet you say you're small and you care about us, but you don't appear on any streaming shows. I've had Dr. West on my show. I've contacted Nikki and Christy and all of them. And What kind of demographics do you want? What are you saying when you're only going to go on certain shows? You may go on certain shows on mass media, but not or mainstream media, but not on streaming. I tell people, look at some of the streaming shows out there. They're breaking news more than mainstream. Stay tuned as we continue to do stories that you like. Tell your friends, really. Support other streaming shows. You have any questions or comments, you can email yours truly. It's parkerman2011@gmail.com, parkerman2011@gmail.com. If you have any questions or comments, you can go to my voicemail and say, hey, I want to leave a comment. Telephone number is 216-702-3718, 216-702-3718. And leave a comment, and we'll get back with you. If you have any shows or topics that you'd like to see on the show that you don't see anywhere else, we'll try to do that. We'll try to put a Parker twist on it. We have shows coming up. And again, I'm a one-man person. So please support our show and let us continue to grow. Hit the like, share button. Subscribe. And we thank you, excuse me, for being on this interesting kind of show today as we talked about a couple of things, which I like, and hopefully we educated you. Very accessible. And I'm telling you, people that do streaming shows, they do take hits. People that are very political by heart, they do take hits. Election season is upon us. Do your best to vote. 20% of people vote. We need more people to get out there. The candidates that are out there, I mean, are we going to have other ones coming in at the last minute? If Donald Trump doesn't become the candidate for the Republican Party, who will be? If Biden doesn't become the candidate, will it be Gavin Newsom? Will it be Michelle Obama? Who could it be? Hey, you know what? It could be you. Okay? Maybe not the presidential candidate, but your local city politics candidate. We need people to band together to stand together. Band together to stand together. Write that down. Remember, I said that. You don't like who's in office. Put them out. You run or get somebody else to run. So in closing, keep your head up, never look down, always believe in yourself, and therein will lie your answer. I'm Anthony Parker. We don't just keep it real. We don't just keep it simple. We keep it honest. We will talk again. And of course, God bless.